You stepped inside the church, heart heavy with unspoken words and pain of getting betrayed by someone who was dear to your heart, who you thought would never leave you no matter what. The dreams you have seen, the future you already settled in your head, the plans that you made, everything shattered the moment you realized that he chose your stepsister. Your dreams were empty. After a week of crying in your room, trying to get this pain off your chest, you finally came to God because you know there is no one who can listen to you. This church is a little different from others in this village. No one really comes here to pray anymore. It seems sad, shattered just like your heart, your broken heart. You spun around and choked back a gasp when you noticed a guy sitting several rows behind you in a shadowed corner. Your heart aches a little as you watched him. He must be there to mourn for someone close, or maybe just sad like you. You didn't pay much attention because you don't have time. You have to stop the wedding no matter what. You can't see your boyfriend getting married to some other girl when he made you dream to be his wife. You lit up a candle and joined your hands in a praying position before lowering your head, tears filling in your eyes. Dear God, I'm here because my parents are dead. You have no idea why you started your prayers with this sentence. God must have already known that you were all alone in this world. What I meant to say was, my parents have both passed away. I lost my mother a couple of years ago, then I lost my father last season. Now I'm about to lose the boy I love. Peter, your voice choked when you called his name. We have been seeing each other in secret. I loved him so much. But a little over 2 weeks ago, on the day Peter and I were going to tell our families we were in love, my stepsister Crystal announced that she and Peter were getting married. You paused to close your eyes. This part still makes your head spin. Crystal is a stepsister, prettier than you and a little kind, unlike your stepmother who doesn't even like to see your face. You never imagined to see Peter in the same room with Crystal. I still think that Peter loves me. I believe he has been manipulated by my stepmother because he wanted to introduce me to his family. He wanted to marry me, he promised. He hasn't spoken to me since the engagement was announced. He won't even see me. I'm here, begging for your help. The wedding is today. I need you to stop it, please. You open your eyes. You knew this is of no use, but you still wanted to try till you have hopes. Please, I know you understand heartbreaks. I'm begging you, stop Peter from marrying Crystal. Save my heart from breaking again. Now that was a pathetic speech. Two claps broke the silence of the church. You turn around only to see the guy who was sitting at the corner now standing in front of you. His eyes were fixed on you and a mocking smile on his face. You really think begging is going to change anything? You narrowed your eyes, trying to process why the stranger interfered in between your prayers, and were you that loud that he heard everything? Who are you? You said, wiping your tears, feeling a little embarrassed while the stranger crossed his arms. I'm someone who knows exactly what it feels like to be betrayed, but listening to you, it's pathetic. Your eyes widened and you looked a little mad at the stranger for calling you pathetic. You don't understand. He was supposed to introduce me to his family. He promised me a future, and now he's marrying my stepsister. And still you want him back, he said, raising his brows. He chose her over you, he broke your heart, and you are here begging for him to come back. How can you still believe in him? Your voice cracked. Because I love him. I thought he loved me too. Jungkook scoffed. Love, you call this love? He discarded you like you meant nothing, and you are willing to take him back. Do you think that's what love is supposed to feel like? You lowered your eyes, his words sound harsh and cutting deep. What do you know about love? More than you think. You lift up your face and looked at him. Now you could see the pain in his eyes. It seemed very much similar to yours. My girlfriend cheated on me. I thought she was the one, but she proved me wrong. I came here because I wanted to believe in something again, to find some hope, but hearing you, it made me realize how blind love can make us. So what should I do then? Jungkook sighed, sitting down beside you. Let me ask you something. How many people have you kissed? You frowned, confused by the sudden question. Just one, Peter. He's the only one I ever wanted to kiss. But why are you asking that? And you still want him back after everything he did to you. That's even more pathetic. You are willing to give your whole heart to someone who tossed it aside without a second thought. Your eyes filled up with fresh tears. What would you have me do? Forget him? Pretend none of it mattered? Jungkook looked at you, his gaze softening with understanding. No, I'm saying you deserve better. We both do. We deserve someone who values us, who won't betray us, someone who sees our worth. Your tears slowed, and for the first time you felt a glimmer of hope. Do you really believe that? Jungkook nodded. I do, and maybe it's time we start believing it too. You hesitated for a moment, then looked at him with desperation in your eyes. Will you help me? Help me to stop this wedding? Jungkook's eyes widened in surprise. He looked at you in disbelief. You still want to stop it, even after everything? I can't help it. I'm not over Peter. I need to see if there's still a chance. You said, looking down, fidgeting with your fingers. Jungkook sighed deeply. You know this isn't right, but fine, I'll help you. Not because I believe in Peter, but because I want you to see the truth. Maybe then you'll realize you deserve better. He would have never chose to marry someone else if he loves you. He's not cursed. You are a fool, that's it. You looked at him, don't know why you are listening to this stranger, why asking him for help, but right now it feels like God sent him to help you after listening to your prayers. You got up. We have to go right now. They must be in the wedding hall. He sighed and got up. I would still suggest you to think once more. It won't be easy. I still want to try, you said, walking ahead while he followed. You and Jungkook hurried through the streets, hearing the church bells in the distance. Your steps quickened as your desperation grew and your heart was pounding in your chest. Jungkook was following you, his heart ached seeing your pure love for someone who doesn't value it. When you reached the church where the wedding was happening, you saw guests laughing and chatting as they went inside. Your heart sank and panic edged your voice as you whispered, "We are late." Jungkook grabbed your hand and pulled you towards a side entrance. There's still time, come on. You slipped inside unnoticed and made your way to the back of the church. The ceremony was already happening and the priest's voice filled the hall. Your eyes scanned the scene frantically until you saw Peter and Crystal at the altar. Time seemed to stand still. Peter looked radiant in his wedding attire, holding Crystal's hand. Crystal, your stepsister, looked beautiful and happy. No, your voice trembled and your heart broke once again. Just as you reached the back of the hall, the priest said, "You may now kiss the bride." Your breath caught in your throat as Peter leaned in and kissed Crystal. Seeing their lips meet felt like a dagger to your heart. Jungkook's hand tightened around yours, silently supporting you. Tears filled up in your eyes and you turned away, unable to watch any longer. Jungkook gently led you out of the church, away from the crowd and laughter. Once outside, you broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. Jungkook stood beside you while you were crying your heart out. He was sad for you, but his pain was not less than yours. He got betrayed by someone he loved since childhood. I know it hurts, but you needed to see this. He's not worth your tears. You clung to him, your heart shattered but grateful for his presence. I don't know what to do now, you said between your cries. Jungkook looked at you with pity and understanding. You need to move on. It's going to be hard, but you can't keep holding on to someone who chose someone else over you. You nodded, wiping your tears. Thank you. I don't know where to start. He sighed, sadness in his eyes. Neither do I, but I guess we both have to figure it out. For a moment you stood there, two strangers bound by shared pain. You felt crushed by heartbreak, but also a strange sense of relief. You weren't alone in your suffering. After a moment, you pulled away from him. Maybe you have never able to come here all by yourself and see that Peter wasn't innocent. He happily chose to marry Crystal. You are the cursed one who left alone. Jungkook took a deep breath. He didn't know if it's okay to leave you alone in this condition, but he can't do anything more than this. Be strong and don't cry for someone who doesn't deserve you. Okay, good luck. I hope you find what you are looking for. You looked at him. It was the time to say goodbye to this stranger who made you feel better than your own people. Thank you. He smiled and took a step back. I feel good helping you. I hope we'll meet again. You pressed your lips together, not sure if it can be possible to meet him again. At least tell me your name. He turned towards you and smiled. Jungkook. You can call me your savior also. For the first time in a while, a chuckle left your mouth. I mean, I pretty much saved you from getting hurt for someone not worth your tears, so nothing's wrong with that name. You nodded with a smile. Thank you. I really hope we'll meet again, Savior Jungkook. Goodbye. He smiled, or we can say, see you again. You nodded. I would love to. He turned around and walked away while you kept looking at him until he disappeared. He came like a God's gift to save you from a heartbreak. Then you shifted your eyes to the church. You realized that maybe Jungkook was right. Peter wasn't worth your tears. You decided to move on, to leave this village and start this new life that God has gifted you. Four months later. Girl, you are late again, she said, stepping aside while you quickly wore your apron. I know, I was stuck in traffic. She sighed. You know boss will be mad at you. You looked at her while your hands occupied with work. I live far from here. I can't help. Okay, fine. You should rent an apartment nearby. You sighed. She didn't know the struggle of your life. If you would have money to afford the rent in this main city, you would have bought an apartment. But currently, all you are having are struggles that are never ending any soon. You have moved to the city, leaving all those painful memories, heartbreaks, and people who gave you pain. You are trying to start a new life, completely different. It's not easy, your struggles have increased, but it is helping you to heal. This physical pain is nothing compared to those traumas. You never looked back after that day. Your stepmother, Peter, and Crystal, you left all of them. You still think how a stranger came to rescue you out of nowhere. God did listen to your prayers. He came, showed you your self-worth and then disappeared, but his memories are still fresh in your mind. You wish to meet him once again. You wanted to hear his side of the story as well. Why he said that he can understand your pain exactly because he suffered with the same heartbreak. His face and name is the only thing you remember about him. You were lost in your thoughts that you didn't notice you poured more batter for pancake than needed. Maya noticed that. Wyan, what are you doing? You came back to your senses and realized what you did. Oops, I'm sorry, you said, wiping the excess batter from the corner. That's when your rude boss also came. If you can't do anything, why did you even come to work, Wyan? I'm so sorry, sir. It won't happen again. Please forgive me. He sighed annoyingly. You are just testing my patience. I don't know why I haven't kicked you out yet. This is your last warning. Okay, sir, I promise it won't happen again. City life is not at all easy, and now you have realized how difficult it is to survive alone in a new place. There is an order at table number 14. Go and serve without any problem. You nodded and laid the food before leaving. The boss looked at Maya. You said she'll do all the work with perfection. She's always zoned out. She's new in this city, sir. Give her some time. She needs this job. He sighed and walked away from there. Balancing a tray with a steaming cup of coffee and a slice of cake, you made your way to the designated table. As you approached, you glanced at the customer engrossed in a book. When you finally reached the table, you couldn't believe your eyes. Jungkook? Hearing your voice, Jungkook lifted up his face and he was equally surprised to see you standing in front of him. He got up, not believing his eyes. Wyan, you? What are you doing here? I work here now. Moved to the city a few months ago. Actually right after that day. Needed a fresh start. He smiled. I can't believe it. I moved here too, around the same time. You nodded, feeling a strange mix of emotions. Small world, huh? He laughed, a sound warm and familiar. Yeah, it really is. How have you been? You sighed, taking a seat at his invitation. It's been tough, but the city's been good for me. New job, new friends. It's like a clean slate. I'm trying to get better, slowly forgetting those memories. I get that. Sometimes all you need is a change of scenery to start healing. I'm happy that you decided to live for your own happiness. There was a comfortable silence between you. Don't know why you felt alive after seeing him again. You know, I think about that day at the church sometime. Seeing you so heartbroken, it reminded me of my own pain, but it also made me realize we both deserve better. You smiled softly. Yeah, I think we both needed to see that to move on. I never thanked you properly for helping me that day. Jungkook shrugged, a small smile on his lips. It was the least I could do, besides I needed to closer too. But I was so into my pain that I didn't ask you about your story. Did you also got cheated like me? He was just looking at the innocence that was still visible on your face. Don't know why it suddenly calmed him. Moving on wasn't easy for him as well. But from the day he met you, it doesn't bother him anymore. Yes, I did. It was hard. And I lost faith in love for a while. But meeting you that day, it reminded me that there are good people out there. People who deserve better. Your eyes soften. After a long time, you get to talk to someone so deeply. Thank you for saying that. It means a lot. But before he could say anything, you noticed your manager signaling you to get back to work. You gulped and looked at Jungkook. You got up. Jungkook, I need to go back to my shift. He nodded in understanding. Don't worry, now we can meet often. Maybe daily? You smiled and nodded. Nothing can be better than this. See you soon. He smiled while he waved at him and walked away. Jungkook sighed and a small smile appeared on his face. Maybe this is another signal from God. He picked up the cup and took a sip, but the smile wasn't leaving his face.